This is ChestertonRadio.com.
And here's the cinnamon bell.
It's time again for Judy and Jimmy, who, with their friends, the Cinnamon Bear and the Crazy Quilt Dragon, are having a pretty difficult time. After Queen Melissa of Maybeland gave them an envelope containing instructions for having their broken silver star put back together again, they set out for the wishing woods because the instructions were written in magic ink and could only be read in total darkness. In the middle of the woods, they met Snappersnick, the crooning crocodile, who lived in a big white bathtub and sang. He was very, very much interested in the magic instructions and asked if he might take a look at the envelope. Jimmy obligingly held it up for Snappersnick to see, and clack, clack went the crocodile's jaws, and the instructions were gone.
A pretty kettle of kipper snacks this is, a pretty kettle.
Yeah. What do you mean by chewing up Melissa's important instructions, Snappersnick?
They were ever so valuable, and now we'll never know what they said, and we'll never be able to find out how our broken star can be mended.
My friends, don't carry on like this. Why,
A fine thing. I do believe you're the crudest crocodile I ever laid eyes on.
And just wait till I lay me cinnamon paws on him. I'll teach him a thing or two.
Splendid. Maybe you could teach me how to sing a low H flat, huh? I've never quite been able to swing it.
Well, if you didn't have such a big nose, I'd twist it. That's what I do.
Oh, dear. Do you suppose if we went back to Melissa, she'd give us some more instructions, Cinnamon Bear?
I'm afraid not, Judy. She'd probably think us very careless and unworthy.
Oh, come, my friends. Why so bleak? Don't be like that. Didn't you say you wanted to read the instructions?
Of course we did, you bad, bad crocodile. But how can we read them when you've got them inside you?
Didn't Melissa say those magic instructions could only be read in total darkness?
Sure, that's what she said, you big blunt-nosed bully.
But even if we did find some darkness like that, we wouldn't have anything to read in it now.
Aha! Did you ever stop to think that there's nothing more totally dark than the inside of a crocodile?
Goodness gracious me. That's certainly total darkness, all right. But you're not suggesting, my good fellow, that one of us climb in and read them, are you?
You bet he is. It's just a trick, Crazy Quilt. A low, deceiving, crocodilish trick.
Balderdash, my fuzzy friend. I'm simply trying to be of assistance. That's why I grabbed Melissa's instructions and downed them.
But that doesn't help us any. Even if they are in a total darkness now, we can't read them.
No, but I can.
Don't be funny, my bathtub baritone. How can you read them when they're snug in your tummy?
Ha-ha! Just a bit of Snappersnick service. But perhaps a little explanation is in line, huh? A little light on the subject?
You're daffy, just plain daffy.
Not at all. You see, I can't read a thing with my eyes. Not a word. Mother forgot to send me to school when I was a lad. Consequently, when I want to know something that's in print, the only thing I can do is swallow it, wait till it's digested, and then I know what it says.
You mean you just eat anything that's written, and you know what it is without looking at it?
Exactly. And a voracious reader I was in my day, too. Used to digest 3 or 4 mystery stories a day. Got 'em from a circulating library. But finally they took my card away because I never returned the books.
Oh, my goodness.
You seem to have too literary an appetite, I suppose.
Well, I couldn't return them, you see. Most annoying, too. Why, I haven't read any good books in ages. Have to content myself with old newspapers and magazines.
Then you can read Melissa's instructions.
Absolutely. Read anything I eat. In some ways, an advantage. I eat all my singing lessons, and the music, too. Incidentally, I have quite a repertoire of songs on tap. How would you like to hear me sing On the Road to Maybeland?
If you don't mind, we'd much rather hear you read those instructions.
Yes, please do, Mr. Snappersnick. How long does it take you to digest something so you could read it?
Well, that depends on what it is. Took me all last summer to digest half of Anthony Crocodile. Then I gave it up. Little too much of a meal. But these instructions are nothing. Should be digested by now.
Hurry up and read them, Snappersnick. We've got to get going.
Very well. Must close my eyes first so I can concentrate. There. Mm-hmm. Ah. My.
Tell us quick. What do they say?
Most interesting. Quote, then Christopher Crocodile stared deep into Cynthia Crocodile's blue eyes and then... Oh, pardon me. Got mixed up with the short story I ate out of Crocodile Confessions this morning.
Oh, quit fiddling around and read the instructions, will you?
Right away. Here we are. Quote, the wishing well is where to go to find out what you want to know. Unquote.
Gee, that doesn't say how we can get the Silver Star put back together again.
It just tells us to go someplace. Are you sure you read them right, Mr. Snappersnick?
Positive. Right there in black and black.
If you'll remember, Judy, Melissa said it would take a little extra magic to fix the star. This just means we'll have to go to the wishing well for further instructions.
That's it. Do you know how to get to the wishing well, Snappersnick?
Not exactly. I never venture very far away from my blessed bathtub. But they tell me it's in that direction.
It is. Come on, everybody. Let's get started.
Yes, let's. Thanks so much, Mr. Snappersnick, for reading Melissa's instructions and everything.
Oh, glad to have been of some assistance. And sorry you can't stay to hear me sing a bit. Really remarkable voice, you know. May do a little opera next season.
And thanks again. Thanks again, Snappersnick, and goodbye.
Yes, goodbye, Snapper.
So long.
Ah, yes. Goodbye, my friends. Regret I can't walk away with you, but must practice my scales now.
Well, I guess everything has turned out for the best after all.
I guess it has, all right. But my goodness, who'd have thought of reading those instructions in a crocodile's tummy?
I was all ready to bust him one.
It certainly was as close to total darkness as you'd be able to find anywhere.
I wonder what we'll find out at the wishing well.
Which wishing well do you think we're supposed to find? There must be more than one. That's why these are called the Wishing Woods. I fell into a lemonade wishing well once upon a time, you remember. But I didn't think to make a wish to keep my colors from running.
I suppose we have to wish that the star is put back together again.
Oh, that sounds logical.
Gee, what's that?
Sounds just like a clock. Well, what would a clock be doing here?
I'm sure I don't know, but we find many strange things in the Wishing Woods, you know.
It sounds like it came from over there. Let's go around this tree and see where it comes from.
My goodness. It looks like a feather duster, but it's got shoes on.
Yeah, and they look just like those old shoes of Uncle Jed's up in the attic.
Yes.
I know what it is. It's an ostrich. I've seen pictures of him.
Ahoy, friend Ostrich. My word, he's got his head stuck in the ground.
Who's there?
Just us, Judy and Jimmy.
Paddy O'Cinnamon and yours truly, Crazy Quilt.
I'll be right out.
What do you suppose he's doing with his head stuck in the ground that way?
Maybe he can tell you, Judy.
Hello, my friends, and what can I do for you today?
Well, we were just wondering.
About that ticking noise.
Oh, that. Just my breakfast, mate. It's a lovely green alarm clock.
Alarm clock?
Yes, indeed. Oh, it was a beauty, all right. Most refreshing.
Jimmy, I remember that ostriches eat awful funny things. Don't let him see the broken star. He might take that away and eat it.
Pardon me, little lady. I couldn't help hearing what you said. Very keen ears, you know. You don't have to worry about my eating anything you may happen to have with you. I'm not like other ostriches. I'm delicate. That's what I am. Delicate. I'm an ostrich as knows what he likes. If you don't think I am, you're mistaken. My favorite dish is divinely delicious. It's scrambled alarm clocks and bacon. Some ostriches go in for dainties, like hot water bottles and socks. They rave about lampshades and doorknobs, but stick up their noses at clocks. I've tried everything in the cookbooks, and of all of the food I've partaken, there's nothing so yummy or good for the tummy as scrambled alarm clocks and bacon. Just follow my simplified diet for peaceful, contented insides. Alarm clocks will stifle your hunger and call you for dinner besides. You can set all the clocks that you eat for the next time you wish to awaken. And when they start clanging, you're up with a bang, and it's scrambled alarm clocks and bacon. Strike me pink, dear scrambled alarm clocks and bacon.
Very good.
Right. You certainly are a very unusual bird, Mr. Ostrich.
Holliver's my name, little lady, and you don't have to put an handle to it. Just plain Holliver, but I will admit to the unusual without too much boasting.
would you mind telling us why you put your head in the ground?
Not at all. Just having had my breakfast, I was indulging in a spot of meditation.
He means he was thinking, Judy.
Oh.
And I always thinks best with me head that way.
Do you know which way it is to the wishing well, Oliver?
Rather, right in front of your nose it is.
Where?
A bit leftish of where I'm standing now. Do you see it?
Oh, it looks just like an old tree stump.
That may be, young man, but it's the wishing well for all of that. I can't...
What's that?
Strike me, think. That's the clock telling me it's time for more scrambled alarm clocks and bacon. I hate to have to dash off like this. No end, sorry. Cheerio.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
Oliver.
Well, I guess it's up to us to look it over anyway. It doesn't look like a well from here now, does it?
It certainly doesn't. But come on.
Gee, I can't see over the top of it at all. Can you, Judy?
No, and I'm standing on my tiptoes, too.
I can see over it. Certainly is dark down there.
Stop taking up all the room, Crazy Quilt. Now, come on, let me look.
Oh, certainly. Want a boost, Patio Cinnamon?
No, I'll just climb up on your shoulder.
Just as you like. Making it all right?
Of course I'm making it all right. There. Well. I'm not making a pun, I hope you understand.
Oh, no.
There must be something to show it's a wishing well. A sign or some writing. Awfully dark down there.
What do you see, Cinnamon Bear?
Not a blessed thing, Jimmy. Just a minute. I'll lean over a little farther and... I'm slipping.
Oh, my goodness.
He's fallen into the wishing well.
Poor Cinnamon Bear. The bottom of a deep, dark wishing well is certainly a terrible place to be. And while we're on the subject of wishing wells, I wish I knew how the Cinnamon Bear is going to get out. But it looks like we'll have to wait till next time for that. And believe me, I'll be right here to meet you.
This is Chesterton Radio, your home for podcasts of works by G.K. Chesterton, plus drama, comedy, mystery, science fiction, big bands, and much more. The soundtrack to your Chesterton day at chestertonradio.com.
Kraft presents The Great Gildersleeve. Kraft Cheese Company will also bring you Bing Crosby every Thursday night. Present each week at this time Harold Perry as The Great Gildersleeve, written by John Whedon. We'll hear from The Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. Well, Christmas is still a few days away, but I imagine in most of your homes the festivities have already started for the youngsters. Yes, with the kids on vacation, there are probably plenty of parties and occasions when friends drop in. And that calls for a well-filled cookie jar. Yes, and a big bowl of popcorn now and then. So here's a tip. For cookies that fairly melt in your mouth, try making them with parquet margarine for the shortening. You see, besides being grand for table use as a spread for bread and seasoning for hot vegetables, parquet, when used as a shortening, adds delicate extra flavor to all baked foods. Try parquet melted over popcorn, too, and just watch the youngsters go for it. Best of all, these Christmas treats aren't expensive when you use economical parquet. So get your holiday supply of parquet margarine tomorrow and surprise the youngsters with the best holiday cookies and popcorn they ever tasted. Just ask your dealer for parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y, parquet margarine made by Kraft. Now let's join our friend, the Great Gildersleeve. With December almost gone, he's been working like a beaver the past few days trying to get out the annual report of the Water Department. That's why we find him now in his office asleep at 9 o'clock in the morning with his head buried in the annual report and his arms sprawled across the blotter, while through his troubled dreams run thoughts of this happy holiday season.
You simply must get at that Christmas card list, Uncle Mort?
All right, Marjorie.
Model airplane. That's all I want for Christmas, a model airplane.
I know, Leroy, I know.
How about that annual report, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Right away, Miss Fitch.
How many for Christmas dinner, Mr. Gildersleeve? Can't order till I know how many.
Give me a chance, Bertie.
Just because I'm giving you a present, Throckmorton, I don't want you to think you have to give me a present.
Oh, Leela, I almost forgot.
Have you bought the tree?
Tree?
Have you bought the mistletoe?
Wait a minute.
Have you forgotten anybody?
Wait!
Mr. Gildersleeve,
What do you want?
we regret to inform you that federal regulations require payment for all charge purchases on or before the 10th of the month.
Oh, go away, all of you. Christmas, I hate it.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve. Oh, my goodness, what's happened? Mr. Gildersleeve. He's still warm.
Go away, go away.
Wake up.
Miss Fitch, let me see, where were we? Afraid I dozed a little there. Dear sir, read that back to me, will you?
Mr. Gildersleeve, it's morning.
Morning? Is there anything strange about that?
Only that you slept here all night.
I did? Oh, I must apologize, Miss Fitch. I'm afraid I need a shave. Oh, and the suit looks as if I'd slept in it. Oh, well, let's finish this report and get it over with, huh?
But you haven't even had breakfast.
Breakfast can wait, for once. Will you check these figures as I read them off?
Yes, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Thank you. Statement of financial status. Cash on hand, $386.52.
Check.
Accounts receivable, $2,873.38.
Check.
Interest, $139.10.
Check.
Marjorie, negligee and slippers. Leela Ransom, passion flower. There must be something wrong here.
I think there must.
Yes, I guess I must have got to thinking about something else during the night. Silly, wasn't it?
Yes.
Perhaps I should explain, Miss Fitch. I was thinking about my Christmas list.
So I assumed.
Yes. Perhaps I should explain further, Miss Fitch. Passion flower is the name of a perfume.
I know. I use it exclusively myself.
Oh, maybe I better give it a little more thought then. You know, Miss Fitch, I had the most awful dream last night.
I don't wonder.
Yes, I dreamed that I hadn't done a bit of Christmas shopping, which I haven't. But I also dreamed that it was the day before Christmas. I want to tell you I was frantic.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I don't want to spoil your dream, but it is the day before Christmas.
What? It can't be.
But it is.
What happened to all those other days? There's a whole week I've lost track of.
You've been working too hard. You've been going around here in a fog.
Oh, but I haven't bought a single present. I haven't had breakfast. Haven't even had a shave. Oh, this is really going to be one of my bad days.
Come right in, Mr. Gildersleeve. You're next. No waiting.
Good morning, Floyd.
Gee, Mr. Gildersleeve, you look like the grapes of wrath.
Yes, I had a hard night last night, Floyd.
What happened? Did you run into some friends?
No. I worked all night at the office.
That's what they all say.
I told you, Floyd, I worked all night at the office.
Okay, you worked all night at the office.
I haven't had any breakfast either, so let's skip the conversation and make it a quick shave.
All right, Mr. Gildersleeve, if that's the way you want it, that's the way it'll be. This is one place where the customer is always right.
That's fine.
If a man comes in here and doesn't feel like talking, that's all right with me. I can take a hint.
Good.
One thing I know how to do is hold my tongue.
Good.
I'm not like some barbers. You go into their shop and they talk your ear off from the time you get into the chair to the time you get out of it.
Good.
I want people to feel they can come in here and just relax and not have to listen to a whole lot of stuff.
Fine.
Not that I haven't got my troubles like everybody else, but I keep them to myself.
Good.
Now, like last night, I came home after a long day and my wife had dinner waiting for me, ham hocks and sauerkraut. So we had that and some apple pie, and after dinner I took off my shoes and turned on the radio. I was just getting comfortable, and my wife's sister calls up. And what do you think she wants? Come right over and play pinochle. Well, if you know my wife's sister. So I said to my wife, I said, nothing doing. I said, I'm all set here, I'm comfortable, and right here is where I'm staying.
Good.
I said, you couldn't move me out of here with a 10-ton truck. So we went over and played pinochle for a while, and then come in, Judge, come in. Just finishing up with Mr. Gildersleeve here.
He hasn't even started on me yet.
Why, I'll have you shaved in 2 shakes.
See that you don't, brother.
I thought I'd find you here, Gildersleeve.
How are you, Judge? What's on your mind?
I just dropped in to serve notice on you, Gildersleeve, that after your recent performance, I'm not giving you any remembrance this Christmas. And please do not embarrass me by giving me any. Good day.
Good day. Wait a minute. I don't know what you're talking about, Horace. I haven't seen you in a week. I've been very busy.
Yeah, I'll say you've been busy. Busy over at Mrs. Ransom's.
Judge, I haven't even had time.
Don't deny it. The minute I told you I'd bought a ring, you went scurrying over there to try to cut me out. Was that the act of a friend?
Well, Judge, the best laid plans of mice and men gang after Glay. Yeah, that's Scotch. What's the matter? Did she turn you down?
Wouldn't you like to think so? Well, she didn't. She merely asked for time to consider.
It's the same thing. If she considers it, she won't do it. When is she giving you her answer, Judge?
As soon as she gets back from Savannah.
Savannah? Now, that'll show you how innocent I am, Judge. I didn't even know she was going to Savannah.
Now, don't try to give me that. You know as well as I do that she's going home to see her brother.
On my word, Judge, I told you I've been busy this week. I haven't seen anybody.
I don't know what your game is, Gildy, but this time it isn't going to work. I know all about Leela's plans, and I intend to be out at that airport today at 12 sharp to see her off.
So do I, Judge, and thanks for the tip. 12 o'clock at the airport, is it? Well, if it hadn't been for you, I might have missed saying goodbye to her. Yeah.
Gildersleeve, I've borne a lot from you, but this is the last straw. You now place me in the unpleasant position of having to ask you hereafter to do me the favor not to speak to me.
Oh, anything for a friend, Judge. You know that.
Floyd, Merry Christmas.
Bye, Judge. Same to you.
Floyd, get going. I got a lot of ground to cover between now and Christmas. I wonder if I'm in time. I wonder if she's left yet. Leela, have you left yet?
Well, of all people, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Leela, why didn't you tell me you were going away?
I didn't suppose you'd care whether I came or went after the way you treated me last Saturday.
I can explain that, Leela. You see?
Pray, don't bother. I'm hardly in the habit of having gentlemen run out on me without so much as a by your leave.
Leela, let's talk this over. Aren't you going to invite me in?
Well, if you're going to break my door down, I suppose I'll have to. But I'm leaving right away. I've got all my bags packed, and I'm expecting a gentleman to call for me any minute.
I know. Hooker.
I'm not saying who it is, but he's more of a gentleman than you are.
Leela, about last Saturday, Bertie came back unexpectedly, and I had to go down to the station to meet her.
Did you ever come back?
But Leela...
Did I ever hear word from you all week?
But I haven't had a minute. I've had to get out the annual report of the water department. And if you know what that means...
I know what it means. It means you care more for your old waterworks than you do for me. All I can say is I'm glad I'm going away.
Oh, now, Leela.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Leela, don't be like that. Leela. Oh, help. Somebody help. Look, Leela, I bought you a present.
You brought me a what?
A present. A Christmas present. You see, it's got Santa Claus on it. You see, he's waving to you. Go on, wave to Leela, Santa.
Oh, Throckmorton, you're such a fool. And you didn't forget, did you?
Forget? How could I forget after what happened the last time I saw you?
What happened, Throckmorton?
Don't you remember?
Certainly. I just wanted to see whether you remember.
By George, if there were any mistletoe around here, I'd show you whether I remember or not.
Do you have to have mistletoe? Oh, gracious. It must be time to leave.
Oh, Leela, don't go to Savannah. It's not patriotic to travel now.
Oh, but I have to, Throckmorton. My only brother Marvin is leaving for the Navy.
Oh.
Leela, we haven't got any time to lose.
Come in, George. Oh, you were so sweet to call for me, Judge.
Not at all, not at all. A pleasure.
My bag's already here, and I have a nice surprise for you. Throckmorton's coming to the airport with us.
Yeah.
Well, I hope he's got his car. I'm afraid there won't be room in mine.
Tell the judge we wouldn't think of crowding him, Leela. You can come with me, and he can take the bags.
Oh, yeah? Well, you tell Gildersleeve for me.
Nonsense. Now, we can all ride in one car. We'll put the bags in back and all ride in the front seat.
Leela, you either overestimate my seat or you underestimate Gildersleeve.
All right, let him take the bags up front with him. You and I'll ride him back, Leela.
Oh, no.
Now, we're going to be late. Who's going to carry out my bag?
I've got him.
You have not. I got this one first. Now, let go. Look out.
Boys. No fighting now, you hear?
Good idea.
Throckmorton gets to carry the suitcase and the hat box, and Horace gets the overnight case.
Oh, Throckmorton gets everything.
Say, don't forget your present, Leela.
Oh, gracious, Throckmorton's present. Pick it up when you come, will you, Judge?
This thing?
Be careful of that, Hooker.
Come on. The plane leaves in half an hour.
Flight 37 to Savannah. All passengers aboard, please.
That's you, Leela. That's your plane.
Oh, my goodness, I'm so excited. You know, I've never been in a flying machine before in my life.
I've got a good notion to come with you, Leela.
Oh, I wish you could.
Yeah, I think I'll stow away on the plane.
I'll bet you would, too, Throckmorton.
That blimp? There isn't room to stow him away on the B-19.
No, look here, Hooker.
Boys, this is Christmas Eve. Peace on earth, goodwill toward men.
Well, he started it.
I don't care who started it. I want you both to promise me one thing before I go.
What's that?
Promise me you'll both be friends while I'm gone. Come on now, shake hands. Shake hands, Throckmorton. Come on.
Well, all right.
That's better. Now you write to me every day, you hear?
I will, Leela.
I'll write twice a day.
So will I.
No, you won't.
I will, too.
Now. Oh, you're so impulsive, you boys. I want you to do me another favor.
Anything you say, Leela.
I want you both to spend Christmas together just thinking about me.
Mrs. Ransom?
Yes?
We're holding the plane for you.
For me? Oh, how nice. I'll be right along. Oh, my, isn't he handsome in his uniform and all? I wonder if he's going, too.
Goodbye, Leela.
Oh, goodbye, Throckmorton.
I'll be waiting for your answer, Leela.
My answer? Oh, yes. Now, remember, you two, you're going to be good friends, and don't you dare open your present till Christmas, you hear?
Mrs. Ransom, the plane is waiting.
Oh, my goodness. I'm in such demand here, I hardly know what I'm doing.
Just come with me, please.
With you? Oh, you know, Captain, this is my first trip on a flying machine.
Captain, I'll bet he's not even a sergeant.
Have a pleasant trip, Leela.
Yes, she will.
Well, there she goes.
Yeah, she'll soon be 5,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, dearie me. Now, isn't that too bad?
What?
Something I forgot to give her.
Huh?
Your Christmas present for Leela I'm still carrying.
Oh!
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in just a few seconds. You know, nowadays, it's really a homemaker's duty to see that her family gets the right kind of foods. Yes, and it's just as much her duty to keep her food budget in line. Well, there's one important food that helps you do both these jobs. And that food is economical parquet margarine, the delicious, nutritious spread for bread made by Kraft. Parquet margarine is one of the kinds of foods that our government recommends for good nutrition. That's because it's so wholesome and nourishing. Actually, parquet is one of the best energy foods you can serve. What's more, every pound of parquet margarine contains 9,000 units of vitamin A, making it a really dependable source of this important vitamin the year round. Economical parquet, you know, is widely known as the margarine that tastes so deliciously good. So why not start serving it to your family tomorrow? Yes, tomorrow, sure. Ask your food dealer for parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y. Parquet, the delicious vegetable margarine made by Kraft. Now let's see what's happened to the great Gildersleeve. After a frantic 3-hour battle in Hogan Brothers department store, he bursts out of the store with his arms full of bundles and his hat over his ear.
Christmas. There ought to be a law against Christmas.
Oh, there, Gildersleeve. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Dr. Pettibone. If you see anything the matter with me, please keep it to yourself till after the holidays.
But you're looking fine, old man. I was going to remark on it.
Oh, do you think so?
Never saw you looking better. Maybe those old arteries are beginning to soften for a change.
Pettibone, I'm in no mood for the humor of the dissection room.
Oh, come, Gildersleeve. A cheery smile will do more for your digestion than all the Epsom salts in the world. Come on, Gildersleeve. Let me hear you say ha-ha.
Ha-ha.
Oh. You can do better than that. Come on. Ha-ha-ha-ha-ha. That's better. That's enough now. That's fine. Just keep smiling, and your gastric juices will thank you.
My dear. Let me see now. I got a present for everybody except Judge Hooker. That's fine. Well, hi, George. It's beginning to feel like Christmas. Yeah. Hooker. Da-da-da-dee-da-dee-da. Well, I wonder if I should break down and get Hooker a present. After what he pulled on me this afternoon, I know, but maybe he really did forget to give Leela that package. After all, this is Christmas. No time to bear a grudge. He isn't going to give me a present, though. I heard him say so. Yeah, but you can't trust him, Gildersleeve. He's just sneaky enough to go and do it. I could give him a little present, not a very good one. I could stop in here and get him something kind of cheap at the drugstore. I think I will.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas just like you were. Oh, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Hello, Peavy. I didn't know that you were musically inclined, Peavy.
Well, no, I wouldn't go so far as to say that. I do find myself humming a tune occasionally when I'm alone here in the shop.
Oh, well, you know what they say. It's music makes the world go round. Or is it love?
Did you ever listen to this fellow Crosby, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Crosby? Oh, yes, yeah.
Quite a singer.
One of the best. As a matter of fact, I've been compared to him once. Well, I was.
Usually I like to listen to him on Thursday night. So does Mrs. Peavy.
Oh, Mrs. Peavy's a music lover, too, huh?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, one of the things I'm giving her for Christmas is an album of records. Selections by John Philip Sousa.
Yes.
He happened to be playing at the Steel Pier when we were on our honeymoon.
Oh. Well, between Crosby and Sousa, you can't go wrong. Hey, maybe you can help me out, Peavy. I came here to find a Christmas present.
Oh, something for a friend?
Well, I don't know that he's a friend, but I got to get him something.
Well, I dare say we can find something suitable, Mr. Gildersleeve. Now, let's see.
It doesn't have to be too suitable.
Well, what sort of thing does your friend like?
He doesn't even have to like it. It just has to be a present.
Well, that makes it rather difficult. If you could give me some idea.
Well, I'll tell you. I'm buying it for Judge Hooker.
Judge Hooker? Well, it's a small world, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, is it, Peavy?
Would you believe it? Judge Hooker was in here not over an hour ago selecting a present for you.
Oh, so this is the kind of place he comes to buy me presents, is it?
I think you have a pleasant surprise in store for you, Mr. Gildersleeve. This gift is not the sort of thing you'd expect to find in a drugstore.
I'd like to know anything you wouldn't expect to find in a drugstore. Tell me, Peavy, what did he buy me?
Oh, well, no, I'm afraid I couldn't tell you that. Professional ethics, you know.
But I want to know how good a present to buy him. At least you can tell me how much it cost.
No, but I believe I can say without betraying any confidence that it was under $5.
Good. Yeah, now we're getting someplace. What have you got for an old goat that costs less than $5?
Well, I've got a special on a fountain pen set here. You see, it says double-barreled, self-filling, iridium point, streamlined lucite case, special patented clip, indestructible, guaranteed to last till eternity.
Is it any good?
It's all right. You can't expect everything for $3.98.
Yes. You say it's guaranteed to last till eternity. Well, how long is that? 10 years?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
5 years?
If you don't drop it. Of course, if you don't care for the fountain pen, I have other things. I have an 8-day clock here, but the thing about that is...
I know. You have to wind it too often. Now, I'll take the fountain pen. May not last forever, but neither will Hooker.
I suppose you'd like it wrapped as a gift.
Wrapped as a gift? What does that mean?
Take the price tag off.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Does this pen cost more than the present the judge is giving me or less?
Well, the pen is slightly more expensive.
Then leave the tag on it. I'll just take it as it is. Charge that, will you, Peavy? Hogan Brothers got all my money.
Well, glad to, Mr. Gildersleeve. I hope you have a Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Peavy, and the same to Mrs. Peavy. You know, Leroy, maybe it's this green bulb that's making the trouble.
It do look a little tired.
Why don't you unscrew the bulb and stick the screwdriver in there?
Oh, never do that, my boy. You could blow out every fuse in the house. Besides, you can get a nasty shock that way.
Well, that's what the electrician did when he fixed the lights last year. I saw him.
Well, those electrician fellows are immune to electricity. Let me have that other bulb there, will you, Bertie?
Yes, sir. You know, Mr. Gildersleeve, when my vacuum cleaner starts acting up, I got a sure cure for it.
Well, a vacuum cleaner is not like a light circuit, Bertie.
Well, maybe not, but to me, all them electrical things is about the same. Goes in there and comes out here, and you better stay out of the way.
Well, the trouble here doesn't appear to be the green bulb. What is your cure, Bertie?
Well, sir, I pull the plug out, and I turn it around, and I shake the bag 3 times and put the plug back. It ain't never failed yet.
Well, we've tried everything else.
Yes, I can remember when we didn't bother with these electrical gadgets on Christmas trees. We just used candles. Set the house on fire every year, but it was a lot simpler. Well, go ahead and let's try your system, Bertie.
All right. Stand back, Leroy. Now, pull the plug, turn it around, shake the cord. 1, 2, 3. Put the plug back.
Well, I'll be. Bertie, you're a genius. Marjorie, come on in and see the beautiful tree.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Let's turn off all the other lights and see how it looks.
Hey, that's super.
Oh, it's lovely. Isn't it, Uncle Mort?
Yes, it is. It's lovely.
That's the prettiest tree I ever saw in my life. Reminds me of the World's Fair.
Well, it's not as big a tree as we've had other years, but when you think of all the people who aren't going to have any Christmas tree at all this year.
You know what gets me? Every year, Uncle Mort says, well, don't expect much this year, kids. We're going to have to cut down and just have a very small Christmas.
I know.
And every year seems like there's more presents than ever.
Oh, Uncle Mort, you've been so good to us. You've been like Santa Claus and Daddy and our favorite uncle, all rolled into one.
Yeah, you're a swell, Unc.
Now.
I made some of them Christmas cookies special for you, Mr. Gildersleeve. Shall I bring them in?
Well, I can't think of a better time for Christmas cookies than right now, Bertie.
I'll go get them.
Yeah, cookies. I think I'm going to like this Christmas.
Hey, Unc, can we open just one present, can we, huh?
Well, don't you think you ought to wait till Christmas, my boy?
Oh, but you always let us open just one. I'll pick a little one.
Well, all right then. Just a little one.
Come on, Marge. You pick one of yours and I'll pick one of mine.
Now, let's see what you got first.
Gee, thanks, Unc. A war bond. Just what I needed.
Not what you needed, maybe, but what the country needed. I know it may be something of a disappointment to you.
No, I think it's swell. I don't care if I didn't get a Model P-47 with a motor in it.
Well, it may mean that somebody else will get a real P-47 with a real motor in it. You have to think of that, my boy.
Yeah, I just wish I was the fellow who's going to fly it, that's all. Open yours, Marge. Let's see what you got.
I think I know. Is it, Uncle Mort?
Well, you open it and see.
You remembered.
What you got there, Miss Marjorie?
Every year he gives me one. Listen. Oh, it's a darling one. I love music boxes, and I love Christmas. Merry Christmas, Uncle Mort.
Merry Christmas, my dear. Who's that?
I'll go. Maybe it's Santa Claus. Well, for goodness sake, come in, Judge.
Good evening, Bertie. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Judge.
Hello, Leroy.
Hi.
Hello, Marjorie.
Merry Christmas, Judge.
Would you be good enough to ask your uncle, Marjorie, whether he's in?
Ask the judge whether he's blind.
Oh, so that's your attitude. Well, you may recall, Throckmorton, that we gave a certain lady our promise that during her absence we would be friends.
Yes, I recall it vaguely.
Well, I, for one, am a man of my word. It's customary for friends to exchange tokens this holiday season. For that reason, and for no other, I have brought you a slight gift. Here.
Oh. Well, now that you mention it, I have one for you. There.
Throckmorton. You old son of a gun.
Yeah. Horace, you old goat, you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. By George, now it is a Merry Christmas.
Throckmorton, what do you say we open each other's presents, huh?
Okay. Let's do it.
I just can't wait. Oh. That everlasting fountain pen.
Ooh, that 8-day clock.
Throckmorton, I think Brother Peavy unloaded something on us.
Well, now, I wouldn't say that. On behalf of the Kraft Cheese Company and the cast of our program, I'd like to wish all of our listeners a very Merry Christmas and the happiest possible New Year. There are many of us for whom it'll be difficult to be merry this Christmas, with loved ones far away and families divided. But let's try to keep up the Christmas tradition for the sake of the men who are fighting to preserve it. And to those men also fighting in foxholes and slit trenches, on the sea and in the air, north, east, south, and west, we also send our Christmas good wishes. God bless you all. Good night, everybody.
Original music heard on this program was composed and conducted by Billy Mills. This is Ken Carpenter speaking to the makers of Kraft Cheese and inviting you to tune in again next week for the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve.
You lovers of macaroni and cheese will get a thrill out of the new-fashioned way of making this grand dish with Kraft Dinner. A package of Kraft Dinner contains special macaroni which cooks up fluffy and tender in just 7 minutes. And the Kraft Dinner package also contains some Kraft Grated, which supplies the grand cheese flavor. You just boil the Kraft Dinner macaroni for 7 minutes, drain it, and stir in the Kraft Grated. Your macaroni and cheese is ready to serve. Now, because Kraft Dinner is so simple to make, so good and so economical, it has become tremendously popular throughout the country. So popular, in fact, that sometime a dealer's supply is exhausted by the end of the week. You can help your dealer and yourself, too, by ordering Kraft Dinner early in the week. Then you'll have it on the pantry shelf ready for grand macaroni and cheese you cook in 7 minutes. This program reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
This is Chesterton Radio, the true, good, and beautiful at chestertonradio.com.
Don't turn that dial. This is the right station if you want to hear about Jonathan Thomas and his Christmas on the Moon. Have you been listening to Jonathan Thomas and heard how well he's been keeping his promise? You know, he's been looking for poor Santa Claus because the Squeebobliums, who broke all the laws, kidnapped poor old Santa and hid him away. And they've looked for him now for days and days. That is Jonathan Thomas and the Man in the Moon and Gorgonzola the Horse. And they must find him soon, because if they don't, it's really quite clear we just won't have any Christmas this year. Now, the good fairy queen, she gave them a charm which she said would be sure to keep them from harm. 'Twas a wonderful acorn that they had to take through the nightmare forest to keep them awake. For the nightmare forest is dark and deep, and they'd never wake up if they went to sleep. Well, they reached the forest, you remember well, and then they fell under the witch's spell. For a little white squirrel named Whiskery Bill just wouldn't behave, and he teased until poor Jonathan Thomas fell off of his horse, and then he went sound asleep, of course. Then Whiskery Bill, he cried and he cried. And he said, it's my fault, and I'd sooner have died than hurt Jonathan Thomas, but now it's too late. But the good fairy queen said, no, it is fate, because if you find a red, red rose and hold it close to the little boy's nose, he'll wake up again. It's quite, quite true. But to find the rose will be up to you. So away he went in a terrible hurry, and he slipped and he slid and was all in a flurry till he met a kind walrus who said, I'll help you out. I'll just go along. I can help you, no doubt. So he did. But their hard luck was double, for the wicked old witch was bound she'd make trouble. But they found the red rubies, and the bush grew the rose, and at last they arrived in the forest so deep, and awoke Jonathan Thomas from his long, long sleep. They were soon on their way, the travelers three, bound that they'd set poor Santa Claus free. But they soon met a lion, who asked them to dine, when they named him Ojigrath, which he thought very fine. And now let's see how they're getting along. Oh, my goodness, I hope nothing's wrong.
Oh, I'm much full of 3 times 3. I've never eaten such a good dinner as that one was, Mr. Ojigrath.
Oh, you're very kind, my little man. And now, if you've eaten all that you can, I'll show you a bed where you can lay your head.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ojigrath. But we haven't time to stop. We must hurry like 60 or 70 or 80 to the land of the Squibubble to rescue Santa Claus.
Well, I'll give you fair warning. You'd best wait until morning and not travel when it's dark. For it's not such a lark to stumble and fall, and that's not all. But I don't know which is worse than which, the terror of night with its horrible fright, or the doings of that wicked old witch.
Well, we'll just have to take our chances.
Well, you should wait, 'cause it's late. But if you've made up your mind, and since you've been very kind, I'll give you a gift you can take.
You've already given us our dinner, Mr. Ojigrath.
But just the same, you've given me my name, and now I'll help you out with a secret or two, and some things you can do to put that old witch plumb to rout.
That would be very nice, if you please, Mr. Ojigrath.
Sometimes that old witch drives me crazy.
Well, she even makes me a bit sore. But she's afraid of my roar. It frightens her out of her socks. So I've packed up a few, and I'll give them to you. I've put them in this little box.
Do you mean some roars?
Oh, yes. And you can't guess how she'll quickly run clear out of sight. I don't know why, but she'll scream and she'll cry. My roars always give her a fright. I only wish I had more. I could spare only 4, but that's enough to make things pretty hot.
But how do we use them, if you please, Mr. Ojigrath?
Well, when you see her coming, you needn't start in running, but stand right there till she lands from the air, and then open the box and throw them like rocks. Just 1 or 2, of course, not all of the 4. And she'll run, and she'll shriek, and be scared for a week. She always does when she hears my roar.
That's very nice of you, Mr. Ojigrath. And it'll be quite a laugh to show that old witch a thing or two.
I should say so.
We're pleased to have met you. And now we'll be on our way.
Well, I wish you success, and I guess all the rest. And I hope you have a good trip. And be careful of things such as camels with wings. And be sure not to make a slip.
We'll try, Mr. Ojigrath. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, here we go through the ice and the snow, and we're in a hurry because there'll be no cheer, no Christmas this year if we don't find Santa Claus. So, Gorgonzola, giddy up, Gorgonzola dandy, and with your speed be very fast, and with your feet be handy.
And so they went and went and went and went, until their strength was nearly spent, until they came to a deep, dark wood, and they thought some rest might do them some good. So they stopped their horse, Gorgonzola, of course, and they got off and walked around. And then they sat to have a chat on a giant toadstool they had found.
Oh, my gracious, I'm so tired. Oh, I think a little bit sleep.
Jiminy Crickets, don't go to sleep. You did that once, and it took us a week to wake you up.
Oh, you needn't worry, if you please. I will go to sleep. I did that, I so kind of sleepy.
Well, sleepers cheap. Then go to sleep. Don't sit around and grouse.
Who said that?
And if you had the manners of a mouse, you wouldn't sit on a person's house.
My goodness, we're not sitting on anybody's house.
You are too, if you only knew. And I'll ask you to get right off. Well, don't sit there and stare. My house is no chair. And this is no matter to laugh.
Oh, look, Mr. Man in the Moon. It's a little elf. And you shouldn't say laugh, Mr. Elf. You should say laugh.
It's laugh, if I please. And you may stop and tease. I'll say whatever I wish. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself, you ignorant fish, because I am not just a little elf.
Well, who on earth are you then?
His Majesty, the King of any old thing. And I'll ask you to be more polite, or I'll teach you to see that I'm big enough for me, you impertinent, impudent sprite.
Oh, we beg your pardon, Your Majesty, but we didn't know that Toadstool was your house.
And, boy, if you'd looked, you'd have saw.
Not have saw, Your Majesty, if you please, but have seen.
Just keep it up, and you'll start a scene. I'll talk as I please, and I'll whistle and sneeze. And if you don't like it, get out, or I'll call for a cop, and then you'll soon stop. And all I need do is to shout.
You're not very nice. You're awfully grouchy, too, for such a little thing.
I'll have you know that I am the king, and Chuck, goldfish, and 7 years each. Run for your lives. It's the wicked old witch. Call out the guards. Roll the drums. Everybody hide, for here she comes.
Quick, Jonathan Thomas, give me the box. We'll throw a lion's roar at her. And we'll see if Mr. O. Jigraph was right.
The best you can do is get out of sight.
Well, how do you do? It looks like I've caught up with you. I told you and warned you you'd better turn back. It seems that it's wisdom and good sense that you lack. So now, I guess I'll keep my promise. I've come to get you, Jonathan Thomas.
But you're not going to get me, though, you wicked old witch.
And you'd better go right back to Rumpelstiltskin.
You foolish one. You'll rue your words when I am done. Oh, yes. There's still another thing. I've also come after the Elfin King.
You better throw it, Mr. Man on the Moon.
Watch this, Jonathan Thomas. 1 for the money and 2 for the show. 3 to get ready, and here I go.
Help, help! Oh, stop, I say. That's no way for you to play.
And here goes another one.
Oh, I can't stand such things. As I said, it bothers my head. One ear is deaf, and the other one sings. Help!
By Jiminy Crickets, and look at her go. Mr. O. Jigraph was right, for he told us so. My goodness to gracious, she's good and sore, or she can't stand a lion's roar.
It's a good thing she can't, too. Or she would have got me and gobbled me up. Oh, I'm glad she's been. Where did His Majesty go, Mr. Man in the Moon?
I don't know.
Is she gone?
Of course she has.
Well, bless my hat. Thank you for that. Oh, such nicey rice is too much strife. And thanks to you, you saved my life.
Oh, gee, well, it wasn't anything.
It's quite a lot to save a king. And now, I'm mighty glad you stayed, and just for that you'll both be paid, and richly too, both you and you. Just name your price, and in a trice you'll have it before you can count up to 2.
Well, now, sounds like Jonathan Thomas and the Man in the Moon are in luck for once. For all elf kings are magic, you know. And maybe this one will have something to help them go to the land of Squeebobble. Oh, I hope so, don't you? I wonder what they'll ask for. Well, I guess we'll find out in the next story of Jonathan Thomas and his Christmas on the Moon. So don't forget to listen, will you? I won't.
You are listening to Chesterton Radio at chestertonradio.com.